Moved by legislator Yolvich, second by legislator Dawson. Any discussion on the motion?
I really haven't.
If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Item 27, 009.
Move it, Mr. President. Second.
Moved by legislator Quacko, second by legislator Yolvich. Discussion on the motion. Legislator,
You guys already?
yes, right. Legislator
President, I'd like
Driscoll.
to,
Legislator Driscoll.
I've got earlier, and now, namely, Mr. President, I'd like to offer an amendment to this item, change the funding for the contract, scratch out, funding for the contract is included in scratch out capital fund 1314 and substitute fund 9001 fund center 1209020000 finance unallocated. That is the fund we established to take care of capital items without bonding.
Second.
Discussion on the amendment. If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Amendment carries. Main motion, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. President, for recognizing me 2 times here till I got to the right part of my agenda. My concern is with the fact that we're taking this up as a matter of urgency. I suspect that on the merits of the matter, I would very well be supportive of this referral. In fact, it mirrors something this caucus is certainly very familiar with, as I believe Legislator Hyder introduced a very similar referral in the last legislative session. And my concern is that, you know, it's somewhat ironic that in a referral that hopefully would lead to increased transparency and communication with the public, that we would take this referral up after having received it a brief time ago. And again, there may be nothing particularly objectionable to the merits of it, but we don't know that without subjecting it to the rigors that we would in any referral by introducing it into the committee cycle. You know, we don't know exactly what for example, purchasing the equipment is. Can this be replicated for cable access viewing? Are we going to do it on just the governmental website? The mechanics, the nuts and bolts should be examined just as we would examine any referral by introducing it to the committee cycle, and having committees do their work and give us an opportunity to reflect on what appropriate questions might be. And so I would move that we refer this to the committee cycle, to the appropriate committees as determined by the President. If there's a second.
Second, Mr. President.
Mr. President, this is a matter that has been discussed thoroughly in several committees and certainly by a number of us legislators individually and collectively. And it's an issue that's been discussed in the community for some time now. This is a commitment that I made as a majority leader of this body to bring to fruition, to complete, as it were, as a matter of affecting the transparency of this body. And people as they were charged in the administration, from communications to facilities and on, have worked diligently to find the best way possible to bring these proceedings to the public in a way that is most convenient to them and also convenient to the taxpayers as well. So I think that there need not be any further delay in bringing our meeting in a very transparent and public way to the public. So I don't see any need for delay, so I will be voting no for our motion to
Ryan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I think that at a minimum, if we're going to take it as a matter of urgency, there ought to be at least some demonstration of what the urgency is. You know, this was something that was introduced in the last legislative cycle. It was deemed at that time not to be ready for the floor. We now are presented with this now. I'm not sure I understand what the urgency is. Perhaps if you get an explanation of what the urgency is, Mr. President. Thank you.
I just, Mr. President, through you, Legislator O'Brien, there's no reason to delay in proceeding forward transparent in our meetings. There is nothing new in this piece of legislation that hasn't been reported to the legislature in previous meetings and in previous sessions. So there's no reason for the delay. I'm excited about the fact that by March we will be able to offer the viewing of these meetings to people in the public for their consumption and for this level of transparency. Since there is nothing new, there is no reason to delay. So this is why I stand in opposition to the amendment.
Mr. Ryan?
Again, Mr. President, not to belabor the point, but Dr. Quattro's point could be made with respect to every referral that we do. And I'm not saying that I object to anything in the merits of the referral. I'd just like the opportunity to examine the referral as we do every referral, absent the showing of some need to take it as an urgent matter. There has to be some demonstration, Mr. President, that we need to take this up right now. And particularly in light of Mr. Hyder, the maker of the last referral, not being present in these chambers, it seems that absent the showing of some sense of urgency, any referral, you could say, look, we should just take this up now and take out the deliberative part of the committee process with respect to every referral we do. Absent a showing of urgency, my motion stands.
Mr. Bronson?
Yes, Mr. President. I rise to support the motion to commit this to the committee cycle. And the reason is because there's a difference between bringing a matter before this honorable body as a matter of urgency versus a matter of convenience. This is before this body this evening as a matter of convenience. There has been no articulation by the makers of the referral on what is urgent and necessary to vote on this evening, instead of going through the committee process where we can vet all the various issues relating to the proposal. Certainly, there's no disagreement with this body. Most of the members, anyway, have voiced and expressed support for the idea of videotaping the legislative proceedings. We're supportive of that. We've demonstrated that support through numerous referrals who have been submitted, and some of which have been referred to the administration and we waited for months and close to a year before getting a report back. Now we're being asked as a matter of urgency to vote on a proposal that would authorize the President of the Legislature to obligate the county to spend $60,000 for the purchase of media system capable of recording and archiving video and audio for the Monroe County Legislature. Some of the unanswered questions. Once it's videotaped, when will the tapes be available? Once it's videotaped, when will the audio and the video be placed on the Monroe County website? Other questions. Will there be any redacting or editing of the videotaping? Other questions. If we then, besides putting on the county website, is the intent to also make it available for public access stations? And if so, will there be a necessity to have other technology involved in this? There are questions to ask, not difficult questions, but questions that we ought to take the opportunity to go through the committee cycle and have those questions answered either by the makers of the referral or by the administration. We've been working on this issue for at least 2 years now. There's no reason why we can't go through the committee cycle and actually have the referral get passed and implemented. So by March 10th, we have plenty of time, by March 10th, to start the taping. But it also will allow us to fully vet the referral, and that's why we're making this motion to commit to committee. Thank you.
Mr. President, I stand to speak again against this motion to further delay this process. As the minority leader so ably spoke just moments ago, we have been discussing this issue for the past 2 years. There is nothing in this referral that has not been reported to this legislature by the administration. The technical people that are involved in this from the administration perspective have been available to answer any questions